For most of us, heaven seems a long way away at this point. But even so, we like the idea that we get there, we stand before Jesus, and he says, "Well done, good and faithful servant." But what if? What if some of us get there and Jesus actually says, "You did well. I'm proud of you, but I actually had even more for you." John chapter 14, Jesus is getting the disciples ready for his big moment. The moment when he pays the ultimate price, he makes the ultimate sacrifice, and then is resurrected and seated at the right hand of God. And he says something really important. Well, actually, he says quite a few important things, but he says one thing I want to focus on today. And he tells the disciples one of the things that will come out of this is those that believe in him will do the same things he did. In fact, those who believe will do greater things, greater miracles than even he did. And he goes on and says something really deep, and he says, "And if you ask for anything in my name, I will do it." Why? That God's glory would be shown. And he reiterates, "If you ask for anything in my name, I will do it." Now, before we get into the buts, you know what I mean? But what about, for the moment, let's just put aside those concerns, legitimate, because we want to get it right. But for the moment, let's just set that aside. And let's set aside this idea that that is just for the super spiritual, that person who's living in a foreign country doing missions or whatever. And I want to ask you to just set it aside for the moment and put it in this perspective. Wherever you are in life at this point, whether this is your ultimate destiny or this is temporary, but wherever you are in life, in your job, whether you own the business, your ministry, your family, your neighborhood, whatever, wherever you are in life right now, that is where God has you at the moment. Now, this may not be the ultimate permanent, but wherever you are in life right now, what if we just took Jesus at his word? What if we just said, okay, I don't understand it. It is pretty deep. It's pretty heavy. I don't understand it, but I'm just going to take you at your word. Now, here's where this gets interesting. When he says those who believe will do greater things, greater miracles, it actually is greater works. When you look at it, the word actually isn't miracles. It actually is deeds, things you set out to do. It literally means greater works. Now, I know this is seems like we're a little bit on thin ice here. I get it. And I'm not trying to bring out some super faith moment. But what I do want to challenge us to is this. We live in a world that absolutely needs to see God's miraculous power. What if, rather than succumbing to but what about? What if we just absolutely, in our situations, in our lives, in the circumstances God has allowed into our lives, whatever those may be, however that applies, what if we did just take Jesus out of his word? What if we just took him at his word and said, okay, God, you said that we would do greater deeds, we would do greater work. And you said, if we would ask anything in your name, you would do it so that God would be glorified. Now, I know some of you are already red flags going off like, oh, danger, danger, danger. Can it be abused? Yes. But let's, for the moment, let's just take the approach where we just say, Jesus, I want to see God glorified. Let our litmus test not be, wow, can we ask for a red Mercedes? But let the litmus test be, God, I want to see you glorified. I want to see your power released. I want to see lives changed. I want to see businesses changed, environments changed. What if we just took the approach where we said, I'm taking you at your word, and I'm going to risk embarrassment. I'm going to risk looking foolish because I literally want to tap into everything that you have. I want to see you glorified. I want to see all of it. I don't want to settle for comfortable. I don't want to settle for just what is risk-free. But God, I want to step out, and I do want to see those greater things, those greater miracles. I want to see this at work, and I want to see you glorified. What if we just took him at his word in whatever circumstances we're in, and we just said, okay, God, let's step out. Let's step out of the boat, just like Peter said, stepped out of the boat, walked on water, no matter how outrageous it seemed. What if we just said, okay, Lord, I'm taking you at your word. Let's go do greater works, greater deeds, that God would be glorified.